Scene Navarre. Act 1. Scene 1. The King of Navarre's Park. Enter Ferdinand, King of Navarre, Biron, Longueville, and Dumaine. King. Let fame that all hunt after in their lives. Live registered upon our brazen tombs. And then grace us in the disgrace of death. When, spite of cormorant devouring time, endeavor of this present breath may buy that honor which shall bait his side's keen edge, and make us heirs of all eternity. Therefore, brave conquerors, for so you are, that war against your own affections, and the huge army of the world's desires, our late edict shall strongly stand in force. Navarre shall be the wonder of the world. Our court shall be a little academe, still and contemplative in living art. You three, Biron, Dumaine, and Longueville, have sworn for 3 years' term to live with me, my fellow scholars, and to keep those statutes that are recorded in this schedule here. Your oaths are passed, and now subscribe your names, that his own hand may strike his honor down. That violates the smallest branch herein. If you are armed to do as sworn to do, subscribe to your deep oaths and keep it too. Longueville. I am resolved, 'tis but a 3 years' fast. The mind shall banquet, though the body pine. Fat paunches have lean pates and dainty bits. Make rich the ribs, but bankrupt quite the wits. Dumaine. My loving lord, Dumaine is mortified. The grosser manner of these world's delights he throws upon the gross world's baser slaves. To love, to wealth, to pomp, I pine and die. With all these living in philosophy. Bdrowne. I can but say their protestation over. So much, dear liege, I have already sworn. That is, to live and study here 3 years. But there are other strict observances, as not to see a woman in that term, which I hope well is not enrolled there. And 1 day in a week to touch no food, and but 1 meal on every day beside, the which I hope is not enrolled there. And then to sleep but 3 hours in the night, and not be seen to wink of all the day, when I was wont to think no harm all night, and make a dark night too of half the day, which I hope well is not enrolled there. Oh, these are barren tasks, too hard to keep. Not to see ladies, study fast, not sleep. King. Your oath is passed to pass away from these. Bdrowne. Let me say no, my liege, and if you please. I only swore to study with your grace, and stay here in your court for 3 years' space. Longueville. You swore to that, Biron, and to the rest. Bdrowne. By yea and nay, sir, then I swore in jest. What is the end of study, let me know. King. Why, that to know which else we should not know. Bdrowne. Things hid and barred, you mean from common sense. King. Aye, that is study's godlike recompense. Bdrowne. Come on then, I will swear to study so. To know the thing I am forbid to know. As thus, to study where I well may dine. When I to feast expressly am forbid. Or study where to meet some mistress fine. When mistresses from common sense are hid. Or, having sworn too hard a keeping oath, study to break it and not break my troth. If study's gain be thus, and this be so, study knows that which yet it doth not know. Swear me to this, and I will ne'er say no. King. These be the stops that hinder study quite, and train our intellects to vain delight. Bdrowne. Why, all delights are vain, but that most vain, which with pain purchased doth inherit pain. As painfully to pore upon a book, to seek the light of truth while truth the while doth falsely blind the eyesight of his look. Light seeking light doth light of light beguile. So, ere you find where light in darkness lies, your light grows dark by losing of your eyes. Study me how to please the eye indeed, by fixing it upon a fairer eye, who dazzling so, that eye shall be his heed, and give him light that it was blinded by. Study is like the heaven's glorious sun, that will not be deep searched with saucy looks. Small have continual plotters ever one, save base authority from others' books. These earthly godfathers of heaven's lights, that give a name to every fixed star, have no more profit of their shining nights than those that walk and wot not what they are. Too much to know is to know naught but fame, and every godfather can give a name. King, how well he's read to reason against reading. Domain, proceeded well to stop all good proceeding. Longueville, he weeds the corn and still lets grow the weeding. Bdrowne, the spring is near when green geese are a-breeding. Domain, how follows that? Bdrowne, fit in his place and time. Domain, in reason nothing. Bdrowne, something then in rhyme. Longueville, Baronne is like an envious sneaping frost, that bites the firstborn infants of the spring. Bdrowne, well say I am, why should proud summer boast? Before the birds have any cause to sing, why should I joy in any abortive birth? At Christmas I no more desire a rose than wish a snow in May's newfangled shows. But like of each thing that in season grows, so you, to study now it is too late. Climb o'er the house to unlock the little gate. King, well sit you out, go home Baronne, adieu. Bdrowne, no, my good lord, I have sworn to stay with you. And though I have for barbarism spoke more than for that angel knowledge you can say, yet confident I'll keep what I have sworn, and bide the penance of each 3 years' day. Give me the paper, let me read the same, and to the strictest decrees I'll write my name. King, how well this yielding rescues thee from shame. Bdrowne, item that no woman shall come within a mile of my court, hath this been proclaimed. Longueville, 4 days ago. Bdrowne, let's see the penalty, on pain of losing her tongue, who devised this penalty? Longueville, marry, that did I. Bdrowne, sweet lord, and why? Longueville, to fright them hence with that dread penalty. Bdrowne, a dangerous law against gentility. Item, if any man be seen to talk with a woman within the term of 3 years, he shall endure such public shame as the rest of the court can possibly devise. This article, my liege, yourself must break. For well you know here comes an embassy, the French king's daughter, with yourself to speak. A mild of grace and complete majesty, about surrender up of Aquitaine, to her decrepit, sick, and bedrid father. Therefore this article is made in vain, or vainly comes admired princess hither. King, what say you, lords, why this was quite forgot? Bdrowne, so study evermore is overshot. While it doth study to have what it would, it doth forget to do the thing it should. And when it hath the thing it hunteth most, 'tis one as towns with fire, so one so lost. King, we must of force dispense with this decree. She must lie here on mere necessity. Bdrowne, necessity will make us all forsworn 3,000 times within this 3-year space. For every man with his affects is born, not by might mastered, but by special grace. If I break faith, this word shall speak for me. I am forsworn on mere necessity. So to the laws at large I write my name. And he that breaks them in the least degree stands in attainder of eternal shame. Suggestions are to other as to me. But I believe, although I seem so loath, I am the last that will last keep his oath. But is there no quick recreation granted? King, I that there is, our court you know is haunted with a refined traveller of Spain, a man in all the world's new fashion planted, that hath a mint of phrases in his brain, one who the music of his own vain tongue doth ravish like enchanting harmony, a man of compliments whom right and wrong have chose as umpire of their mutiny. This child of fancy, that our motto height, for interim to our studies shall relate, in high-born words the worth of many a knight, from tawny Spain lost in the world's debate. How you delight, my lords, I know not I. But I protest I love to hear him lie. And I will use him for my minstrelsy. BDROWNE. Our motto is a most illustrious wight, a man of fire new words, fashion's own knight. Longueville, costard the swain, and he shall be our sport. And so to study 3 years is but short. Enter Dull, a constable with a letter in costard. Dull, which is the Duke's own person. BDROWNE. This fellow what wouldst? Dull. I myself reprehend his own person, for I am his grace's Farborough, but I would see his own person in flesh and blood. BDROWNE. This is he. Dull. Signor arm commends you. There's villainy abroad, this letter will tell you more. Costard. Sir, the contempts thereof are as touching me. King. A letter from the magnificent Armado. BDROWNE. How long soever the matter, I hope in God for high words. Longueville. A high hope for a low heaven, God grant us patience. BDROWNE. To hear or forbear laughing. Longueville. To hear meekly, sir, and to laugh moderately or to forbear both. BDROWNE. Well, sir, be it as the style shall give us cause to climb in the merriness. Costard. The matter is to me, sir, as concerning Jaquinetta. The manner of it is I was taken with the manner. BDROWNE. In what manner? Costard. In manner and form following, sir, all those 3. I was seen with her in the manor house, sitting with her upon the form, and taken following her into the park, which put together is in manner and form following. Now, sir, for the manner. It is the manner of a man to speak to a woman, for the form in some form. BDROWNE. For the following, sir. Costard. As it shall follow in my correction, and God defend the right. King. Will you hear this letter with attention? BDROWNE. As we would hear an oracle. Costard. Such is the simplicity of man to hearken after the flesh. King. Great deputy, the Welkin's vicegerent and sole dominator of Navarre, my soul's earth's god and body's fostering patron. Costard. Not a word of costard yet. King. So it is. Costard. It may be so, but if he say it is so, he is, in telling true but so. King. Peace. Costard. Be to me, and every man that dares not fight. King. No words. Costard. Of other men's secrets I beseech you. King. So it is, besieged with sable-colored melancholy, I did commend the black oppressing humor to the most wholesome physic of thy health-giving air, and, as I am a gentleman, betook myself to walk. The time when? About the 6th hour, when beasts most graze, birds best peck, and men sit down to that nourishment which is called supper. So much for the time when. Now for the ground which I mean I walked upon. It is Iclep thy park. Then for the place where? Where I mean I did encounter that obscene and most preposterous event that draweth from my snow-white pen the ebon-colored ink, which here thou viewest, beholdest, surveyst, or seest. But to the place where? It standeth north-northeast and by east from the west corner of thy curious knotted garden. There did I see that low-spirited swain, that base minnow of thy mirth. Costard, me, king, that unlettered small knowing soul. Costard, me, king, that shallow vassal. Costard, still me, king, which, as I remember, hight Costard. Costard, oh me, king, sordid and consorted, contrary to thy established proclaimed edict and continent canon, which but with this I passion to say wherewith. Costard, with a wench, king, with a child of our grandmother Eve, a female, or, for thy more sweet understanding, a woman. Him I, as my ever-steamed duty pricks me on, have sent to thee, to receive the meed of punishment by thy sweet grace's officer, Antony Dull, a man of good repute, carriage, bearing, and estimation. Dull. Me, aunt shall please you, I am Antony Dull. King. For Jaquinetta, so is the weaker vessel called which I apprehended with the aforesaid swain. I keep her as a vessel of thy law's fury, and shall, at the least of thy sweet notice, bring her to trial. Thine, in all compliments of devoted and heart-burning heat of duty. Don Adriano de Armado. BDROWNE. This is not so well as I looked for, but the best that ever I heard. King. I the best for the worst, but Sirrah, what say you to this? Costard. Sir, I confess the wench. King. Did you hear the proclamation? Costard. I do confess much of the hearing it, but little of the marking of it. King. It was proclaimed a year's imprisonment to be taken with a wench. Costard. I was taken with none, sir. I was taken with a damsel. King. Well, it was proclaimed damsel. Costard. This was no damsel neither, sir. She was a virgin. King. It is so varied too, for it was proclaimed virgin. Costard. If it were, I deny her virginity. I was taken with a maid. King. This maid will not serve your turn, sir. Costard. This maid will serve my turn, sir. King. Sir, I will pronounce your sentence. You shall fast a week with bran and water. Costard. I had rather pray a month with mutton and porridge. King. And Don Armado shall be your keeper. My Lord Biron, see him delivered o'er. And go we, lords, to put in practice that which each to other hath so strongly sworn. Exeunt King, Longueville and Dumaine. BDROWNE. I'll lay my head to any good man's hat. These oaths and laws will prove an idle scorn. Sirrah, come on. Costard. I suffer for the truth, sir, for true it is I was taken with Jaquinetta, and Jaquinetta is a true girl, and therefore welcome the sour cup of prosperity. Affliction may one day smile again, until then, sit thee down, sorrow. Scene 2, the park. Enter Armado and Moth, his page. Armado. Boy, what sign is it when a man of great spirit grows melancholy? Moth. A great sign, sir, that he will look sad. Armado. Why, sadness is one and the self-same thing, dear imp. Moth. No, no, O Lord, sir, no. Armado. How canst thou part sadness and melancholy, my tender juvenile. Moth. By a familiar demonstration of the working, my tough signor. Armado. Why tough signor, why tough signor? Moth. Why tender juvenile, why tender juvenile? Armado. I spoke it, tender juvenile, as a congruent epitheton appurtening to thy young days, which we may nominate tender. Moth. And I, tough signor, as an appurtenant title to your old time, which we may name tough. Armado. Pretty and apt. Moth. How mean you, sir? I pretty in my saying apt, or I apt in my saying pretty? Armado. Thou pretty because little. Moth. Little pretty because little, wherefore apt? Armado. And therefore apt because quick. Moth. Speak you this in my praise, master. Armado. In thy condign praise. Moth. I will praise an eel with the same praise. Armado. What that an eel is ingenious. Moth. That an eel is quick. Armado. I do say thou art quick in answers, thou heat'st my blood. Moth. I am answered, sir. Armado. I love not to be crossed. Moth. He speaks the mere contrary, crosses love not him. Armado. I have promised to study 3 years with the Duke. Moth. You may do it in an hour, sir. Armado. Impossible. Moth. How many is one thrice told? Armado. I am ill at reckoning, it fitteth the spirit of a tapster. Moth. You are a gentleman and a gamester, sir. Armado. I confess both, they are both the varnish of a complete man. Moth. Then I am sure you know how much the gross sum of Deuceace amounts to. Armado. It doth amount to one more than two. Moth. Which the base vulgar do call 3. Armado. True. Moth. Why, sir, is this such a piece of study? Now here's 3 studied ere ye'll thrice wink. And how easy it is to put years to the word 3, and study 3 years in 2 words, the dancing horse will tell you. Armado. A most fine figure. Moth. To prove you a cipher. Armado. I will hereupon confess I am in love, and as it is base for a soldier to love, so am I in love with a base wench. If drawing my sword against the humor of affection would deliver me from the reprobate thought of it, I would take desire prisoner, and ransom him to any French courtier for a new devised curtsy. I think scorn to sigh, methinks I should outswear Cupid. Comfort me, boy, what great men have been in love? Moth. Hercules master. Armado. Most sweet Hercules, more authority, dear boy, name more, and sweet my child, let them be men of good repute and carriage. Moth. Samson master. He was a man of good carriage, great carriage, for he carried the town gates on his back like a porter, and he was in love. Armado. O well-knit Samson, strong-jointed Samson, I do excel thee in my rapier as much as thou didst me in carrying gates. I am in love too. Who was Samson's love, my dear moth? Moth. A woman, master. Armado. Of what complexion? Moth. Of all the 4, or the 3, or the 2, or one of the 4. Armado. Tell me precisely of what complexion. Moth. Of the sea-water green, sir. Armado. Is that one of the 4 complexions? Moth. As I have read, sir, and the best of them too. Armado. Green indeed is the color of lovers, but to have a love of that color, methinks Samson had small reason for it, he surely affected her for her wit. Moth. It was so, sir, for she had a green wit. Armadio. My love is most immaculate white and red. Moth. Most maculate thoughts, master, are masked under such colors. Armadio. Define, well-educated infant. Moth. My father's wit and my mother's tongue assist me. Armadio. Sweet invocation of a child, most pretty and pathetical. Moth. If she be made of white and red, her faults will ne'er be known. For blushing cheeks by faults are bred, and fears by pale white shown. Then if she fear or be to blame, by this you shall not know. For still her cheeks possess the same, which native she doth owe. A dangerous rhyme, master, against the reason of white and red. Armadio. Is there not a ballad, boy, of the king and the beggar? Moth. The world was very guilty of such a ballad some 3 ages since, but I think now 'tis not to be found, or if it were, it would neither serve for the writing nor the tune. Armadio. I will have that subject newly writ o'er, that I may example my digression by some mighty precedent. Boy, I do love that country girl that I took in the park with the rational hind costard. She deserves well. Moth. To be whipped, and yet a better love than my master. Armadio. Sing, boy, my spirit grows heavy in love. Moth. And that's great marvel, loving a light wench. Armadio. I say sing. Moth. Forbear till this company be past. Enter Costard the clown, Dull the constable, and Jacquinetta a wench. Dull. Sir, the Duke's pleasure is that you keep Costard safe, and you must suffer him to take no delight, nor no penance, but he must fast 3 days a week. For this damsel I must keep her at the park. She is allowed for the day, woman, fare you well. Armadio. I do betray myself with blushing, maid. Je l'ai que anititie. Man. Armadio. I will visit thee at the lodge. Je l'ai que anititie. That's hereby. Armadio. I know where it is situate. Je l'ai que anititie. Lord, how wise you are. Armadio. I will tell thee wonders. Je l'ai que anititie. With that face. Armadio. I love thee. Je l'ai que anititie. So I heard you say. Armadio. And so, farewell. Je l'ai que anititie. Fair weather after you. Dull. Come, Jacquinetta, away. Exeunt Dull and Jacquinetta. Armadio. Villain, thou shalt fast for thy offences ere thou be pardoned. Costard. Well, sir, I hope when I do it, I shall do it on a full stomach. Armadio. Thou shalt be heavily punished. Costard. I am more bound to you than your fellows, for they are but lightly rewarded. Armadio. Take away this villain, shut him up. Moth. Come, you transgressing slave, away. Costard. Let me not be pent up, sir, I will fast being loose. Moth. No, sir, that were fast and loose, thou shalt to prison. Costard. Well, if ever I do see the merry days of desolation that I have seen, some shall see. Moth. What shall some see? Costard. Nay, nothing, Master Moth, but what they look upon. It is not for prisoners to be too silent in their words, and therefore I will say nothing. I thank God I have as little patience as another man, and therefore I can be quiet. Exeunt Moth and Costard. Armadio. I do affect the very ground which is base, where her shoe, which is baser, guided by her foot, which is basest, doth tread. I shall be forsworn, which is a great argument of falsehood, if I love. And how can that be true love which is falsely attempted? Love is a familiar, love is a devil. There is no evil angel but love. Yet was Samson so tempted, and he had an excellent strength. Yet was Solomon so seduced, and he had a very good wit. Cupid's butt shaft is too hard for Hercules' club, and therefore too much odds for a Spaniard's rapier. The first and second cause will not serve my turn. The passado he respects not, the duello he regards not. His disgrace is to be called boy, but his glory is to subdue men. Adieu, valor, rust, rapier, be still, drum, for your manager is in love. Yea, he loveth. Assist me, some extemporal god of rhyme, for I am sure I shall turn sonnet. Devise wit, write pen, for I am for whole volumes in folio. Act 2. Scene 1, the King of Navarre's park, a pavilion and tents at a distance. Enter the Princess of France with 3 attending ladies, Rosaline, Maria, Catharine, and 3 lords, Boyet, and 2 others. Boyet. Now, madam, summon up your dearest spirits. Consider who the king your father sends. To whom he sends, and what's his embassy. Yourself, held precious in the world's esteem. To parley with the sole inheritor of all perfections that a man may owe. Matchless Navarre, the plea of no less weight than Aquitaine, a dowry for a queen. Be now as prodigal of all dear grace, as nature was in making graces dear, when she did starve the general world beside, and prodigally gave them all to you. Princess. Good Lord Boyet, my beauty, though but mean, needs not the painted flourish of your praise. Beauty is bought by judgment of the eye, not uttered by base sale of chapmen's tongues. I am less proud to hear you tell my worth than you much willing to be counted wise in spending your wit in the praise of mine. But now to task the tasker, good Boyet. You are not ignorant, all-telling fame doth noise abroad Navarre hath made a vow, till painful study shall outwear 3 years. No woman may approach his silent court. Therefore to seemeth it a needful course, before we enter his forbidden gates, to know his pleasure, and in that behalf, bold of your worthiness, we single you as our best moving fair solicitor. Tell him the daughter of the King of France, on serious business craving quick dispatch, importunes personal conference with his grace. Haste signifies so much while we attend, like humble-visaged suitors, his high will. Boyet. Proud of employment, willingly I go. Princess. All pride is willing pride, and yours is so. Who are the votaries, my loving lords, that are vow fellows with this virtuous duke? Lord Longueville is one. Princess. Know you the man? Maria. I know him, madam, at a marriage feast, between Lord Perigord and the beauteous heir of Jacques Falconbridge solemnized. In Normandy saw I this Longueville. A man of sovereign parts he is esteemed, well fitted in arts, glorious in arms. Nothing becomes him ill that he would well. The only soil of his fair virtue's gloss, if virtue's gloss will stain with any soil, is a sharp wit matched with too blunt a will, whose edge hath power to cut, whose will still wills. It should none spare that come within his power. Princess. Some merry mocking lord belike is so. Maria. They say so most that most his humors know. Princess. Such short-lived wits do wither as they grow. Who are the rest? Katiachariani. The young Dumain, a well-accomplished youth. Of all that virtue, love for virtue loved. Most power to do most harm, least knowing ill. For he hath wit to make an ill shape good, and shape to win grace though he had no wit. I saw him at the Duke Alençon's once, and much too little of that good I saw, is my report to his great worthiness. Rosaline. Another of these students at that time was there with him, if I have heard a truth. Baron they called him, but a merrier man, within the limit of becoming mirth. I never spend an hour's talk withal. His eye begets occasion for his wit. For every object that the one doth catch, the other turns to a mirth-moving jest, which his fair tongue, conceits expositor, delivers in such apt and gracious words, that aged ears play truant at his tales, and younger hearings are quite ravished. So sweet and voluble is his discourse. Princess, God bless my ladies, are they all in love, that every one her own hath garnished with such bedecking ornaments of praise. Lord, here comes Boyet. Enter Boyet. Princess. Now what admittance, Lord? Boyt. Navarre had notice of your fair approach, and he and his competitors in oath were all addressed to meet you, gentle lady. Before I came, Mary, thus much I have learned. He rather means to lodge you in the field, like one that comes here to besiege his court, than seek a dispensation for his oath, to let you enter his unpeopled house. Enter King of Navarre, Longueville, Dumaine, Biron, and attendants. Here comes Navarre. King. Fair princess, welcome to the court of Navarre. Princess. Fair, I give you back again, and welcome I have not yet. The roof of this court is too high to be yours, and welcome to the wide fields too base to be mine. King. You shall be welcome, madam, to my court. Princess. I will be welcome then, conduct me thither. King. Hear me, dear lady, I have sworn an oath. Princess. Our lady help my lord, he'll be forsworn. King. Not for the world, fair madam, by my will. Princess. Why will shall break it, will and nothing else. King. Your ladyship is ignorant what it is. Princess. Were my lord so, his ignorance were wise. Where now his knowledge must prove ignorance. I hear your grace hath sworn out housekeeping. 'Tis deadly sin to keep that oath, my lord, and sin to break it. But pardon me, I am too sudden bold. To teach a teacher ill beseemeth me. Vouchsafe to read the purpose of my coming, and suddenly resolve me in my suit. She gives him a paper. King. Madam, I will, if suddenly I may. Princess. You will the sooner that I were away. For you'll prove perjured if you make me stay. The king reads the paper. Bdrowne. Did not I dance with you in Brabant once? Rosaline. Did not I dance with you in Brabant once? Bdrowne. I know you did. Rosaline. How needless was it then to ask the question? Bdrowne. You must not be so quick. Rosaline. 'Tis long of you that spur me with such questions. Bdrowne. Your wit's too hot, it speeds too fast, 'twill tire. Rosaline. Not till it leave the writer in the mire. Bdrowne. What time o' day? Rosaline. The hour that fools should ask. Bdrowne. Now fair befall your mask. Rosaline. Fair fall the face it covers. Bdrowne. And send you many lovers. Rosaline. Amen, so you be none. Bdrowne. Nay, then will I be gone. King, Madam, your father here doth intimate the payment of 100,000 crowns, being but the one half of an entire sum, disbursed by my father in his wars. But say that he or we, as neither have, received that sum, yet there remains unpaid 100,000 more, in surety of the which one part of Aquitaine is bound to us, although not valued to the money's worth. If then the king your father will restore but that one half which is unsatisfied, we will give up our right in Aquitaine, and hold fair friendship with his majesty. But that it seems he little purposed. For here he doth demand to have repaid 100,000 crowns, and not demands, on payment of 100,000 crowns, to have his title live in Aquitaine, which we much rather had depart withal, and have the money by our father lent, than Aquitaine, so gelded as it is. Dear princess, were not his requests so far from reasons yielding, your fair self should make a yielding gainst some reason in my breast, and go well satisfied to France again. Princess, you do the king my father too much wrong, and wrong the reputation of your name, in so unseeming to confess receipt of that which hath so faithfully been paid. King, I do protest I never heard of it, and if you prove it, I'll repay it back, or yield up Aquitaine. Princess, we arrest your word. Boyet, you can produce acquittances for such a sum from special officers of Charles his father. King, satisfy me so. Boyet. So please your grace, the packet is not come, where that and other specialties are bound. Tomorrow you shall have a sight of them. King, it shall suffice me, at which interview all liberal reason I will yield unto. Meantime receive such welcome at my hand, as honor without breach of honor may make tender of to thy true worthiness. You may not come, fair princess, in my gates, but here without you shall be so received, as you shall deem yourself lodged in my heart, though so denied fair harbor in my house. Your own good thoughts excuse me, and farewell. Tomorrow shall we visit you again. Princess, sweet health and fair desires consort your grace. King, thy own wish I thee in every place. Exeunt the king, Longueville and Dumaine. Bdrowne. Lady, I will commend you to mine own heart. Rosaline. Pray you, do my commendations, I would be glad to see it. Bdrowne. I would you heard it groan. Rosaline. Is the fool sick? Bdrowne. Sick at the heart. Rosaline. Alack, let it blood. Bdrowne. Would that do it good? Rosaline. My physic says I. Bdrowne. Will you pricked with your eye? Rosaline. Non point with my knife. Bdrowne. Now God save thy life. Rosaline. And yours from long living. Bdrowne. I cannot stay thanksgiving. Enter Dumaine. Dumaine. Sir, I pray you, a word, what lady is that same? Boyet. The heir of Alençon, Catharine her name. Dumaine. A gallant lady, monsieur, fare you well. Enter Longueville. Longueville. I beseech you a word, what is she in the white? Boyet. A woman sometimes, and you saw her in the light. Longueville. Perchance light in the light, I desire her name. Boyt. She hath but one for herself, to desire that were a shame. Longueville. Pray you, sir, whose daughter? Boyt. Her mother S I have heard. Longueville. God's blessing on your beard. Boyt. Good sir, be not offended. She is an heir of Falconbridge. Longueville. Nay, my choler is ended. She is a most sweet lady. Boyt. Not unlike, sir, that may be. Exit Longueville. Enter Baronne. Bdrowne. What's her name in the cap? Boyt. Rosaline by good hap. Bdrowne. Is she wedded or no? Boyt. To her will, sir, or so. Bdrowne. You are welcome, sir, adieu. Boyt. Farewell to me, sir, and welcome to you. Maria. That last is Baronne, the merry madcap lord. Not a word with him but a jest. Boyt. And every jest but a word. Princess. It was well done of you to take him at his word. Boyt. I was as willing to grapple as he was to board. Theatrical. Two hot sheep's merry. Boyt. And wherefore not ships? No sheep, sweet lamb, unless we feed on your lips. Theatrical. You sheep in thy pasture, shall that finish the jest? Boyt. So you grant pasture for me. He tries to kiss her. Theatrical. Not so, gentle beast. My lips are no common, though several they be. Boyt. Belonging to whom? Theatrical. To my fortunes and me. Princess. Good wits will be jangling, but gentles agree. This civil war of wits were much better used on Navarre and his bookmen, for here 'tis abused. Boyt. If my observation, which very seldom lies, by the heart still rhetoric disclosed with eyes, deceive me not now, Navarre is infected. Princess. With what? Boyt. With that which we lovers in title affected. Princess. Your reason. Boyt. Why, all his behaviors did make their retire. To the court of his eye, peeping thorough desire. His heart, like an agate, with your print impressed. Proud with his form, in his eye pride expressed. His tongue, all impatient to speak and not see, did stumble with haste in his eyesight to be. All senses to that sense did make their repair. To feel only looking on fairest of fair. Methought all his senses were locked in his eye. As jewels in crystal for some prince to buy, who, tendering their own worth from where they were glassed, did point you to buy them, along as you passed. His face's own margent did quote such amazes, that all eyes saw his eyes enchanted with gazes. I'll give you Aquitaine and all that is his, and you give him for my sake but one loving kiss. Princess. Come to our pavilion, Boyet is disposed. Boyt. But to speak that in words which his eye hath disclosed, I only have made a mouth of his eye, by adding a tongue which I know will not lie. Rosaline. Thou art an old love-monger, and speakest skillfully. Maria. He is Cupid's grandfather, and learns news of him. Rosaline. Then was Venus like her mother, for her father is but grim. Boyt. Do you hear, my mad wenches? Maria. No. Boyt. What then do you see? Rosaline. Our way to be gone. Boyt. You are too hard for me. Act 3. Scene 1, the King of Navarre's park. Enter Armado the braggart and Moth his boy. Aramadio. Warble, child, make passionate my sense of hearing. Moth. Concolonal. Aramadio. Sweet air, go, tenderness of years, take this key, give enlargement to the swain, bring him festinately hither. I must employ him in a letter to my love. Moth. Master, will you win your love with a French brawl? Aramadio. How meanest thou, brawling in French? Moth. No, my complete master, but to jig off a tune at the tongue's end, canary to it with your feet, humor it with turning up your eyelids, sigh a note and sing a note, sometime through the throat, as if you swallowed love with singing love, sometime through the nose, as if you snuffed up love by smelling love. With your hat penthouse-like o'er the shop of your eyes, with your arms crossed on your thin belly doublet like a rabbit on a spit, or your hands in your pocket like a man after the old painting, and keep not too long in one tune, but a snip and away. These are compliments, these are humors, these betray nice wenches that would be betrayed without these, and make them men of note. Do you note me? That most are affected to these. Aramadio. How hast thou purchased this experience? Moth. By my penny of observation. Aramadio. But oh. Moth. The hobby horse is forgot. Aramadio. Call'st thou my love hobby horse? Moth. No, master, the hobby horse is but a colt, and your love perhaps a hackney. But have you forgot your love? Aramadio. Almost I had. Moth. Negligent student, learn her by heart. Aramadio. By heart and in heart, boy. Moth. And out of heart, master, all those three I will prove. Aramadio. What wilt thou prove? Moth. A man, if I live, and this, by, in, and without, upon the instant. By heart you love her, because your heart cannot come by her. In heart you love her, because your heart is in love with her. And out of heart you love her, being out of heart that you cannot enjoy her. Aramadio. I am all these three. Moth. And 3 times as much more, and yet nothing at all. Aramadio. Fetch hither the swain, he must carry me a letter.